Good evening. Welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network. Tonight, Jim's back from his little prairie dog adventure, and Jason's joined us from sunny, beautiful California again. Jason, this is my thought to you. And tonight, we're going to do the usual, go through what we did in guns, and we're going to talk a little bit about one of the topics of interest from the reloading room this week, which is press benches. So, also, we're kind of doing an experiment. The new thread for the week, somebody was talking about target measuring apps. I downloaded one of those just a couple of minutes ago, and we're going to kind of play around with that a little bit, see if we can get it to work. So, without further ado, let's start off by talking to Jason on what he did in firearms and reloading this week.
I bought a Caldwell chronograph and received it and have not played with it.
What'd you think?
The app looks really cool. I can't wait to get out and play with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you from playing with it on the range Friday, it's awesome, but I'll talk more about that when it's my turn. Jim? Since you weren't on last week, you got to go 2 weeks now and cover all the things you did, Jim.
Okay. Well, it's like I started the truck on Friday. I backed out of my driveway. You really want me to keep going?
That is not firearms or reloading related. That's driving.
Oh, okay. Well, you said I had to go. I was going to make this podcast into 2 weeks.
Yeah, I can fix that problem.
I know that. You're the host. You can kick me out. Anyway, all right. My wife and I drove out to South Dakota to see a friend and member of the reloading room and all that sort of thing. We were going to go prairie dog hunting. And that's exactly what we did do. I will say this, guys, I got myself one hell of an education when it comes to real world shooting in high wind. It's very difficult. I couldn't hit anything inside. I couldn't hit anything beyond 75 yards because of the wind. I was getting so bad. I mean, we're talking 20, 25 mile an hour winds. It was getting so bad that, guys, I swear to God, I was losing faith in my guns and my shooting and everything else. And then the very next day, we zero the guns out, make sure everything is okay. And sure enough, everything was just fine, including we were shooting steel and all that. I mean, I was shooting 100 yards, shooting half-inch groups. It was just the wind. I just didn't know how to read the wind. I still don't know how to read the wind. But we also, later on that same second day, we went back to that pasture field, and guess who started nailing himself a few prairie dogs? As a matter of fact, Jason would recall last week's What Did You Do in Guns and Reloading Today thread. I actually got to put up a picture of myself with a prairie dog that I shot. Then I threw him back down his hole. But anyway, so I got myself a hell of an education on shooting in the wind, real-world conditions in a pasture field. And then, of course, I met a couple other friends, did a lot of talking, a lot of BSing, and today we finally returned from that vacation. And the only thing I really did today in Guns and Reloading, or the Second Amendment, if you will, was I was very careful when I drove through Illinois yesterday. I did forget about that. Very careful. The guns were unloaded, locked up, ammunition kept separate. And I still managed to take and get through Illinois without going over the speed limit more than 1 mph, and then I immediately backed it down. But anyway, so today the only thing I did was I offloaded my guns, my gear, my ammunition, and to be honest with you folks, I've had a rough day. On to you, Mike.
All right. So, started out with talking to one of the guys from Caldwell earlier in the week, And one of the things I want to let everybody know is when I did have the Caldwell unit set up last week, I did not have one of the arms for the IR unit set in right, so it looked a little cockeyed. I thought it was just maybe the camera angle, but no, it was not set up right. So that may have been part of the error here. But I did go out. I wanted to go out Thursday so then I could do the editing Friday and have the video ready for the podcast. That I'd unfortunately had some stuff that came up with the family on Thursday. Wasn't able to make it out, so had to go out Friday. Yes, I had a blast. Yes, the chronograph is awesome. Yes, the app works great. And no, I don't have the video edited yet, so sorry you guys can't see it yet. But I will show you what some of the data strings look like from my saved groups. Here's the app again. And you can see on there, it's got the different saved groups. So what you can do is you can actually select one of the groups, and it'll pull up the keyboard, because the keyboard's stupid. But when you look at this, you can see under the description it says 22 short rifle. It's got the, down the side here, it's got the different feet per second and then the foot pounds. It gives you, on the right side, it gives you a bunch of different breakdowns. It gives you your average, your standard variation, your minimum, your maximum, different things there. You can actually program in bullet weights on this compensation. That's how you get your foot pounds information. And you can go in and edit your groups again after you do it. It's really, as Jason was saying earlier, nice app doesn't even cover it. Once you get out there with this and you get it set up and you start running it, it's just the stuff that it'll do is amazing. So a lot of fun at all. On a side note, I did the first couple episodes here. I loaded up some of the 40 Smith & Wesson lead rounds, and really had never gone out and tested them. Finally tested them. I'm not the world's best pistol shot, I'll be honest right now with that, but at 7 yards, I put all the shots in a hole that size, so I'd say it was pretty consistent. Your feet per second wasn't necessarily completely all there, but it was within reason, so I probably need to pay a little more close attention to if I was going to try for more accuracy and not just a basic target load, I'd probably want to take a little more time measuring the powder and not use the not use the powder dippers like I did to get a little more consistent speed, a little more consistent burn rate, a little more consistent accuracy. But like I said, it's target load. I didn't really care. So that was pretty much my week. And now we're going to talk a couple things. The title of the show says we're going to talk about the Lee reloading stand, but also we're going to talk about this Target app that somebody had mentioned in the reloading room in the current week's thread, and I got it installed and set up on my phone, and it works pretty sweet. So we're going to kind of do a couple things here. So first and foremost, the Lee reloading stand is a handy device. This is kind of it right here, and you can see it there. It's got a press on the top. I'm going to bring it closer here so we can kind of go through this.
Your lower third was on that mic.
Yeah, I'll turn the lower third off here in a second, gang.
No problem.
So, let me kill that. So, how many prairie dogs did you wind up getting after fighting the wind all week?
I think I hit about 5 the second day we were hunting.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
I took a lot of ammunition with me, but I don't think I burned 50 rounds.
Yeah. No, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, that included the practice stuff, the zeroing and all that. But actually, shots fired at prairie dog, I'll bet you I didn't shoot 20 rounds. But anyway, please continue. I'm interested in this, and that's the exact picture I used last week for our weekly thread, or the stat. Yeah. That's I've got it sitting like this, so you can see
here's the main press. You got your workstation. These are solid. You know, I'm pushing down with quite a bit of force to get them to flex a little bit. I had somebody had sent me a present that I hadn't gotten around to dealing with yet, but well, part of it I have, part of it I hadn't. But all the brass that was still in it was sitting on top of this, and the box is considerable. Where did I put it? I don't remember the exact weight of it, but most of the people will know. You know, you got a medium flat rate box full of brass, and it sits there quite nicely.
On the box. Spider-Man's on the box.
Yep. Oh yeah. So, you know, it definitely holds up really well, and honestly, the brass has been sitting there for a couple of weeks, so it's not like it really weakened the bench. Down on the bottom, and I realized that the person, I bought this secondhand, so I realized that the person that put this together kind of has this shelf here opposite, is one of the it's got a spot for storing presses. So like this one here. Hang on a second, I gotta tilt my screen so I can see what you guys are looking at. Okay, so we've got this one here, it's locked down. It locks down. It's not locked down at the current second. And then over here, there's another one. Well, this is supposed to be here and here, so the person that assembled this kind of assembled it 90 degrees off, so I got to fix that. But that's not that big of a deal. But as far as actual press operation and everything, whoops. Shh. Anyway.
Butt shot.
Sorry.
Michael. Then my wife walks by. Everyone say hello to the wife.
Hopefully we didn't scare too many viewers away. So, all right. So here's the setup here. You know, it locks down on the top. It's got brackets here. You can mount your completed cartridge holder, which it's around here somewhere. But anybody who loads with the Loadmaster knows that there's a feeder ramp right here that the completed cartridge rolls out of, and then there's a little bucket that sits here to catch them. And so there's a bracket right here for the bucket to fit in. It's got your standard mount. Basically, instead of like this one here, where it's got the plate that bolts onto the wood, that one, the plate is the whole top piece. So, as you can see, and then your press locks in just like it does on the other one. And you got to bolt it down. There's a screw in here to keep it from sliding too.
Did that piece come with it as part of the kit, Mike?
I believe so.
Okay.
To my knowledge, everything that's on this comes with the kit. I didn't see anything different in the instructions and everything that I looked up, so. But the press obviously doesn't. But you know, it's a good solid. You know, I'm cranking on this here, and this thing's not moving, so it's a good solid setup. Oh, I'm already there. Sorry, I got an invitation. I got an invitation to join the podcast, so I'm already here. Thanks.
I would suggest you not anything strongly.
And like I was saying, you know, you can buy this, and with these brackets that come with it, let me find those. Oop, back here. So, with the plates that come with, you can mount other presses on these. You've got the wood block here, so you could actually literally grab a press and then mark your own holes off, drill your own holes, and that sits in the top here. Or you've got this plate. It's designed for the Lees. I'd imagine it probably will line up with some of the other presses too. But then, you know, you've got your nice steady sturdy plate here, and you can go ahead and switch out your presses. The nice thing is, like I said, this thing's got storage below, so you could have, you know, I've got my single press here, I've got this Loadmaster here, I got another Loadmaster that I just took off and set on the floor while I'm turning this thing around. So I could have all three of my presses in the same spot. Or in this case, the load-all that I showed is going to get mounted on the wood piece, and then it's going to go down here. So I'm going to have my load-all down here for my shotgun, and then I'm going to have my two presses. One's going to be in 40, the other one's going to be in 223. And so I can switch out as I need to.
Suggestion?
Yeah.
Before you alter that piece of wood, take some close measurements on it, on the width, the angles, and the thickness, and that way you can duplicate that for your next press.
I'm not actually using that piece of wood. I have some plywood that I bought that I actually mounted that Lee load-all on that I'm actually going to cut using this as the template.
I would be very surprised if that black piece of steel doesn't match that load-all.
What's that?
I would be very surprised if a few of the holes in that black piece of steel you showed us...
oh, I'm not using the steel.
Okay, well, I'm just saying I would be very surprised if it didn't match up with the load-all.
It could. So, it definitely could. And the nice thing about having this is, as we get better recording equipment, I'll be able to do a little more demonstrations on here. And like I said, I'm going to keep that piece of black wood as a template, and then I've got plywood laying around here all over the place. I've got a foot wide by 3 feet long sitting over there against the wall. That's 3/4 inch thick, or 1/2 inch thick, that I can use for making mounts and stuff. So as I get different presses and stuff, I can continue to use this for all my different presses. And the nice thing is, unlike this setup here, where it's close quarters, you know, I got a real tight fit here, I don't have such a problem with this. Look at all this room down here. I mean, infinite amount of room when you run this ram down. You're not going to run into anything. You're not going to hit anything. The closest anything is right here, and that's still plenty of room. So a lot more space. And, you know, you can have all your different components sitting here. You could have your box of bullets and everything else. And it's a little lower, so the nice thing is it's a perfect height for... whoops. Anyway, sorry, that was a extra bracket laying on it. It was perfect height for reloading, because you're not too high, you're not too low. You're not going to be... When I put the bullet feeder on, which I'll grab quick because they're laying around over here. So when I grab this one's got the bullet feeder already in it. But if you grab the bullet feeder, you're not reaching that high. You know, no trying to stand on a step stool and reach way up, because this is, you know, chest high. Or letters high, like they say in the baseball for the strike zone. Anyway. So it's a perfect height for working on. Even if you're a little shorter in stature, it's perfect. You can see the whole press. Nothing's blocked or anything. You got easy access to it without having taken up a lot of space. And, you know, it just sits, normal storage. It sits right here. And it's not really in the way. So you can walk right by it, and if you're trying to go in and out the door, it's not a problem. So it's really a great setup. Especially if you don't have a lot of room to work with. So. But like I said, it's really a great little product. You know, and it's simple, and definitely not required. As we did see in the reloading room, we did see quite a few that people had made their own out of wood. and very practical. The drawback to that is they're going to be a little heavier. So that's going to be the drawback to the wood ones, whereas this one's not really all that heavy. Okay, so now that I'm done yakking about that, Jim's deep in thought.
Jim's sound asleep.
No, I made sure I didn't talk that long this time. So.
No, seriously, very interesting, Mike.
So, Jim, how did your loads perform when you didn't have to deal with the wind?
I was shooting half-inch groups.
Half-inch groups?
At 100 yards, I was shooting sub-MOA. And I got really lucky with that ladder load. It worked well for my Mossberg MVP, but I got really lucky with it. And the Savage Model 12 also liked it.
Well, that's definitely a good thing.
Yes, sir, because the thing is, you know, the logistics of trying to carry two different types of ammunition out there, I mean, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And so basically I just had a standard load. I loaded it for the MVP. I also loaded it magazine length to fit inside a standard 20-round box magazine that the MVP can take if I choose to, and all that sort of thing. And I just, the Savage simply liked it. It was that simple.
Yeah.
Got really lucky.
Sounds like it was a pretty good expedition then.
Well, you see, I found out a long time ago that the Savage has about 100,000 more throat in it than what fits in the standard box magazine.
Aha.
Michael, you got yourself a 1911 in your hands.
Yeah, but it's orange tipped, so it's
okay. Good.
Yeah, it's orange tipped, so it's not. Why is it not coming near me? Oh, there we go. See. Yes.
No problem.
It says 1911, M1911A1. However, it is merely an airsoft.
There you go.
What I'm shooting back there is an awesome Firearms Radio Network target from EZ2C Targets, who is one of our new sponsors to come on board. And what they are doing is, if you go to EZ2C Targets, that's EZ number 2, C as in Charlie, and you put in the discount code reloading, we get 10% off. You get 10% off targets. Mark's going to come on the show in a couple of weeks when we go and talk about targets again. And you can get the target with any sort of logo you want on it. You can custom order them. So say you've got a shoot for your local club that you want targets for. Then you can go ahead and get that, and you can put on whatever logo you want. Like for this one we've got Firearms Radio Network. He's done some for Jeremy Posderick of the We Like Shooting Show with his River's Edge Tactical on it. We're going to have some made up with the Reloading podcast, and then we're going to give those away as a drawing. So
Can you bring a target closer to the camera? I'd like to see a better view of it.
Watch. This is a great magic trick. Watch this.
Abracadabra.
Hey, we should just keep it like this. What do you think? Do you like the view now, guys?
Yes, I do.
Nobody has to stare at my ugly mug? I know I do. I'll get into a video podcast. So this is slightly larger. It's 11. It's 11 by 14.
What's the price on those, bud?
You know what? Not sure, honestly. These were just some of the demo ones that Mark gave to me. We can find out real quick here. So. So,
I could do that if you want.
but anyway, my reason for shooting this target in the first place is for the next thing that we're going to talk about. Which is the target, or the targeting app, shall we say.
Michael, you're abusing that target, sir. We lost your audio. Nope. Sorry about this, folks. I'm trying to communicate with Mike back channel. Yeah, we're actually communicating on Hangouts, trying to get him to check the cable connection. That was the problem he had last time. Jason, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yes, thank you.
I switched to my camera audio, so I'm not sure what's up with the headset, but so as I was saying before we had things go kerblooey, on the targets, they're 11 by 17. They are 40 targets per pad. 1 to 2 pads are $7.50 a piece. 3 to 4 pads are $7 a piece, and then it keeps going and going. Like you said, you can go through. They've also got different style targets. This is just kind of the basic one, and they've got all sorts of different ones that work. They've got ones that help diagnose your shooting problems. They've got ones that you can use as a game, like a poker target or darts. You can play cricket. So, a lot of fun. And they're, like I said, they're high visibility targets. You can actually get packages that make they make door signs and stuff too. So, I'll put, they make like the due to rising cost of ammunition, do not expect a warning shot, that type of thing, laminated. So, but like I said, we're going to have Mark on in a couple of weeks and have him go, and we'll listen to him talk about his awesome product. And it truly is. They're decent quality. It's a little thicker than your average copy paper. And like on the bottom here, it's got the website. It's got his logo on it. So you can put, like Jake put on the bottom of these, Firearms Radio Network on Instagram, Firearms Radio on Facebook. So there's, I think, 20 different styles of targets. So it's a big variety. So, but like I said, the target is more for what we're going to show you now, which is a nice little targeting app. So it's actually very simply called Target Calculator. I guess in the lovely Apple App Store, it's like $12. Wow, I kind of almost feel bad for Apple people. Almost.
Wow.
Because in the Android App Store, it's 99 cents, folks. Oh, darn. Just another reason to have an Android. Better apps, cheaper apps. So, how this app works, so you download it from the App Store. When you open it up, you get a screen like this. And is that showing up the actual text?
Yes.
There we go.
It's showing.
Okay, so you got your target calculator. Either a new picture, screen went sleepy. A new picture, stored picture, use saved file. Down at the bottom is the help link, and then down on the bottom right is your little 3-dot menu for different things. We want a new picture, so we're going to select new picture. It launches your camera app. If you have more than one camera, like I do, because I'm a nerd, I like to play, it'll ask you which ones, and then you can select your default. Just go up, take a picture of your target. It'll show you a preview, and you can decide whether you want it or not. This one's a little fuzzy because I moved when I hit the button. So I'm gonna select X, get rid of that. It launches the camera app again. Always make sure your camera lens is clean. Usually with having them in and out of your pockets and stuff, it's not always the best. And we'll use this one here. So now I got my picture. And what I'm going to do is set this up so we can kind of see this all together. And that's going to have a glare.
Fixed it, Mike. The glare was, you had it in such an angle, I wouldn't need glare off the light.
What's that?
You had it fixed. That's all right. Go ahead.
Okay. Is there a glare there now?
There is a bit, yes, on the lower right of your phone.
Let's see here. Glare got worse.
There.
Okay.
Maybe it's just the angle, but no glare there.
Yeah.
No glare.
All right, cool. So now I want to select this picture. So we'll hit the X button. And then I'm going to move it up because you can barely see this. But right there in the corner, you see the little blue dot just to the right of the M? That is your marker you're going to drag down for selecting your bullet holes. Now, just like most of your apps, it's a pinch to zoom. So I want to zoom out so I can mark my holes. And as you can see here, pretty decent group. So I want to walk over here, drag that down with my finger, put that there, and then I'm going to keep. The problem is, depending on your phone, sometimes you get that drag down menu. Go away.
That's about the time
Fat
Jim
fingers
starts
don't
cutting.
help. Fat fingers don't help on this, so if you have a stylus, I'd probably recommend using it. Now, see, I wasn't quite sure if I got this right or not, so I'm going to zoom it out. Come on. Focus.
There, that's beautiful focus.
Okay, so if you folks can see the green line that's running across to the blue circles, I don't know if that's showing up or not.
Jason, you see the green line? I don't see it.
No, I can't.
Let's try changing the brightness and see if it shows up now. Okay. So now, can you see the blue circles? I can see them. They're faint. There's a blue circle here, and it changes the green when you drag it. And then there's another one here. And then there's a box here for measuring.
Okay.
It shows you what 1 MOA is. The box shows you what 1 MOA is, theoretically, but it doesn't know the range. So what I want to do is I can click on the menu button. It gives me options. I can go through. I can change the caliber.
Since it's airsoft, you probably should 25 caliber, which means you could just input it, right?
Yeah, I was going to see if it let me do metric, but it doesn't look like it. So we got the caliber there. It's not 100 yards. It was more like 1.5. Whoops.
Yeah, 1.5 and all that.
So it won't let me put 1.5, so we're going to go 2. So 2 yards. You can. Oh, I guess you can select the metric if you choose this. Then it'll go off the metric side. So And then you've got your different here's height boundaries, show max line, show comments, show details, show center. You're going to enter your comments down here, and then you can hit OK. And then you can go ahead and you can share it. So this is test. So I'm going to go ahead and type in test as soon as the camera refocuses. There we go. I'm going to save it. And then you can choose how you want to share it. See, I want to send this. Eh?
Can you send it over Hangouts?
Yeah. Whoops. Actually, we'll put it right on the Google Plus page. So we'll put this right on the Reloading Podcast Plus Reloading Podcast page.
Good.
And then it'll show up. So, oops. You can rotate the background if it's off. All the different things. So.
That's the 99¢. That's the pay version. So it's going to have
right.
all the bells and whistles.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's your help. You can use the saved file. So I've got the saved file. I can go ahead and it's right up here. Go ahead and pull that back up. This is the first one that I did. So this is when I was playing around. So different things, different options. So it's a nice little app. It'll definitely come in handy if you don't have a way, if you don't have a different way to measure these. So, and I'll do a full write-up review on the Reloading Room for that. I'll put it on that. It's on the post of the week is when somebody was talking about it. So I'll put a little write-up on there and a link in there on kind of a little more information on it. But that's just a quick demonstration, kind of give you an idea of how it works.
I missed that one, but I also picked up on another one called Reloading Assistant that was on last week's thread of the week, or weekly thread. It's called Reloading Assistant, and if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about it a little bit.
Go ahead.
Thank you. It's a reloading calculator and all that sort of thing, and it's a data tracker, data viewer. This is the opening screen. Let me know when I get too close or whatever.
I gotta lock the camera on you first.
Okay.
There you go. It's still fuzzy.
I'll come in. There we go. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is, oh, now I just got myself launched in a web browser, trying to get me to join, trying to get me, a patron member, to join the NRA. Oh, it's okay. Rifle, bullet weight, powder brand.
Now, this is a free app, folks. So just so you know, you are going to encounter some ads. Doesn't look to be too bad so far. So.
Yeah, the first ad I see is First Niagara, but let me go back one screen. And,
that what you were trying to show, Jim?
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Mike. Evidently, you've got the same.
Yeah, I went and downloaded the app. So if you want to talk, yep, there we go. So I went and downloaded the app too. This is the second page. When you click on the launch calculator.
Right.
Ooh, there we go. Where we go? It does not like focusing on that. So we get the launch calculator. Like I said, you're going to get some ads. Here's your handgun or rifle. You got your shotgun. So you got your components, so you can put your prices and different things in here. Sorry, I'm trying to read the screen backwards here. So, Jim, if you want to keep talking about it, I'll just hold this up here.
What I did was I finally went back to the loading data viewer, and I forgot that you have to input what particular caliber you want. When I input my 357 Magnum caliber, my favorite handgun caliber, I came up with, I'm going to put up on my screen if you can.
Sure.
There's a whole list. It's like having a reloading manual in your hand. It's a good start for minimum loads. You know, I've got bullet weights up here on the one column, on the first column, bullet weights, and then the powders, the powder manufacturer, and then the powder itself.
Oh, wow.
And it starts me out at 90 grains, which is a very light bullet for 357, and I've got, oh boy, I got scads of it. I go clear up to the 200 grain Spear Total Metal Jacket with Vitivori N105 powder, and I also go clear a 200 grain lead bullet. I'm not sure what the style is, but it says CPWLNGC with a gas check, no doubt, and it's accurate powder number 2. That's the bottom list right there. Sorry, Key, I'm working back, Mike. Anyway, I would say these powder, and it also folks, it's a spreadsheet, and like most spreadsheets, there's data hidden to the right. I just uncovered it. I'm trying to take and work again backwards, but I just uncovered the data that's on the right, and there in that blue columns that you're seeing is starting load and starting grains and the starting pressure all the way out, and it shows max grains. There you go. It's showing up a little bit now. But anyway, this app, it seems pretty good as far as that goes. It shows pressure, energy for bullet weight, all the good stuff. The only problem I have with this app is I'm old school, guys. I don't believe, this is great. This is absolutely great. But you know what? It's volatile. Just like gasoline. It'll evaporate when the power goes off or the battery gets low or whatever. You buy your books, it's not going to go away like this will. But it's great for a starter. And for those of you that are always asking for data loads, and you're using your smartphones, the name of this app is Reloading Assistant on the Android side, and I don't know what it is on the iOS side. I'm sure it's a pay app over there because those folks on the Apple side of the deal, and I've got an iPad right here. They're rather shameless when it comes to prices. But anyway, so there you go, Mike. That's I think it's a great app for starting out, but at the same time, I don't think it's any substitute for the printed manuals.
Right.
It's a good start. That's all.
So I just went through, and while you were talking, I went through and filled out the shot. And what I've got here is you go through and you enter, and these are just ballpark prices. They're not all necessarily accurate because I didn't remember exactly. But you go through, you fill out your price for all your different components, and I just threw some figures in there to get close. Not always accurate. And then, so down here, they break down cost for the items. Then they break down here cost per quantity for the reloading. And then down here at the bottom, cost for bought. So you can go through and figure out, okay, am I really saving money on some of this or not? You know, is it cheaper to shoot the reloads? And you may find, if you buy bulk ammo, you may find some of it, you're not actually saving money by reloading. So then at least you know. Doesn't mean you should stop reloading by any means stretch. All right, we want to right now. We want to put that right out there. Even if it's a couple cents around more, you're going to have a lot more fun reloading, and then you have that pride in craftsmanship, and you have a better quality round. Jim's giving me the thumbs up. Well, at least he's giving me the thumb and not something else. So, you know, and I'll be honest, there are some times where you just make an awesome deal and you make an awesome buy on ammo because somebody was sitting on it and sitting on it and sitting on it and they don't want to sit on it anymore, and you just happen to get lucky and walk through at the right time, and you may be able to get it a little cheaper. But by all means, it's not going to happen all the time.
Sounds like a winner to me. The thing is, I want to remind folks, Mike is on one side of the app, and I was on the other with the spreadsheet columns. So basically, it's all the same app. Reloading Assistant. Yep. One's a calculator, one actually has load data. Now, I haven't worked with it enough to know yet whether or not I can actually input my own. Like, I like a 200 grain truncated cone, lead bullet. It's not a gas check bullet. I have yet to find out if I can input my own data into here, and you know, my own load value. I like unique for handgun powder, so I just haven't worked with it enough yet. I've been on the road and all that sort of thing, but one of these days we'll get to that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we're going to try and do. What's that?
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I know you're real familiar with your 308 load. I was going to suggest that you try inputting some of the data, because I'm sure you have it off the top of your head, how much powder, what bullet, and so forth you put in for your 308 in the data viewer.
Whoops.
What I don't know is if we can input our own material in the data viewer.
I don't know. We'll find out here. Winchester.
You know what, Mike? We can. I've already answered that question. All I had to do is hit the three dot menu, and it says add load data.
Well, there you go. Add load data. Bullet weight, type. Right here. So, yeah, he's talking about the hamburger menu. We'll get back to that quick. Or the little 3-dot menu in the upper corner here.
Right.
Focus. There we go. So you hit that, and it gives you your different options there. So you can view or edit, row, and I want to add load data. I hit that. It gives you this screen. You can go through and type all your data, and then you can go ahead and make different notes on your accuracy and your power, and then you can save it. So we'll go through here.
Yep.
We'll fill one of these out quick.
What's great about this is it's as nice because it's in your phone, but the problem I see with that, with relying on this alone, I haven't worked with it enough to see if we can export it into a spreadsheet. That would be critical as far as I'm concerned, being able to export the data out to a spreadsheet where I can keep it both on a thumb drive and up in the Google Cloud, where I routinely keep my data.
Yeah. I'm just doing a quick save. So, and then I added this in here. And so right there in the list, it shows mine.
Is that the one that's off color?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep, that's the one I just threw in there quick. So, and then, you know, you can view or edit a row once you select it. So I select it, highlight it like that, and then
okay,
hit your menu button. Come on. And then whoops. So I hit the menu button, and then I go ahead and view right at the row. It pulls that back up, and I can go ahead and tweak it. So, and it looks like you can do that with any of them. So if you want to adjust. And the nice thing is you know, it's got, over here on the other side, it's got your max grains of powder, your max feet per second, your max pressure, your start energy, your max energy, your start power factor, max power factor. Those are going to be important for people who shoot IDPA, because you need to have your power factor year-round depending on what class you're going to be in. It's got your start penetration and your max penetration. So I'm not sure where he got the penetration info. And the guy who invented this is, it's a Polycompsol. So I'm going to try and actually see if we can get him on for a future show and have him come on and talk about his app, and because that'll be fun. It's always good to get I listen to a couple of Android app shows, and it's always better when they get the developers in. You know, they get a chance to talk about their app and tell you all the little things, how they came about it, where they get the information from. Especially be interesting to see where it gets the load data from, if it's from one manual or if it's cross-referenced from a couple. So I can't promise, but I'll try and see if we can get him on.
Sounds good to me. I don't know who it was that made me aware of this reloading assistant, but he was in last week's thread. He's one of the guys that uses a smartphone only, I think. But I just wanted to know that I appreciate the information.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've all got smartphones here. I will firmly and absolutely admit my phone is smarter than I am. So I have no problems admitting that, because it knows how to do stuff that I don't know how to make it do. So, but it's opened up a new avenue for us. So I don't know what you're laughing about.
I'm laughing about
no idea what you're laughing about there, because we know your phone's smarter than you.
No, my phone's not smarter than me. It just doesn't. It knows what I tell it to do, not what I want it to do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jason, let's take a vote.
I think the ballot's loaded against me, guys. That ain't right. But no, what I do with my data, like I said, I put it up on the Google Cloud, but I actually use the Sheets app, the spreadsheet app. That way it puts my data directly in for me. And then once a week or once a month, whatever I need, I just download everything to an Excel format and put it on thumb drive.
Yep. And, you know, that's the nice thing is, you know, for years and years, all we had was notebooks and chicken scratchings and stuff like that. Is that rooster flying around again, Jason?
I don't know what that was.
I think it was Jason talking out the other way.
I think somebody stepped on a duck. Dang it. Well, I don't know. They do have them barking spiders in California, so.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. So it's nice to have technology available. The one thing I will let you know, though, on the Caldwell Precision Ballistic Chronograph, or Ballistic Precision Chronograph, sorry, is you do need to have a live data connection for the app. So that is one thing. I did put it on my tablet also, and my tablet doesn't have a live data connection, so I was unable to use my tablet for the video because I didn't have Wi-Fi available. So you do need to have some sort of internet availability on whatever device you're going to put the app on. So whether it's Apple or Android.
If you're shooting at a range and your range, you know for a fact, is out of phone service, you can't use the app.
Yeah, if you don't have some sort of internet service, you won't be able to use the app. Yeah.
Okay. Does the chronograph store the data for later retrieval?
Not to my knowledge. The chronograph itself is just a basic, simple. It doesn't have any recall settings or anything like that. This one's dependent on the app. So.
Okay, then, but at least you do get a display at the chronograph, right?
Yeah, it does have a readout, so you can go ahead and write down your speed every time. The nice thing about the app, though, is the app actually uses, especially with the IR setup, it measures where your bullets are going through in the triangle based on how it's coming across the light, and it gives you an overall spread for when you're shooting. So you can tell if you were, aiming at the same spot every time or if you were just cranking off rounds. So that's a beneficial thing, too. So if you like, I had this set out about 5 feet from the end because I didn't want to, spend all day cleaning the lenses off because I'm at an indoor range, and so you're going to get all that debris on it right away. So I had it out 5 foot, and probably about 100, 150 rounds before it started causing regular errors because it was dirty. So at that point in time, I was just playing around, so I was done with the test.
Over a chronograph.
What's that?
That's a lot of ammo over a chronograph.
Yeah, it is.
Excuse me.
So, yeah, I did shoot a lot of... actually, I shot... The first string I did, I had 103 rounds in it. And then the second string was... I don't know if it says the second string or not. I want to say the second string was about 40 rounds. So, yeah, I put a lot of rounds over that chronograph.
Well, I can see, I thank you for the heads up on the live internet connection, because that could be a limiting factor for some folks.
Right. You may want to look at a different chronograph because you're not going to get the benefit of the app. And as far as chronographs go, the performance of the chronograph is awesome. The app is fabulous. If I'm just going to give a quick quick review on it. Just, absolutely a nice setup. Lots of different things. Like I said, I went, I've got the video I got to finish editing, and then I'll post that for, and I'll post a link in the reloading room also so people can see. So, but that'll be up on our YouTube channel sometime this week.
Okay, good deal.
Well, if anybody else doesn't have anything, I think we'll call it a night here, Jim, because I know you're bushed, and we already went an hour here, so.
All right, thank you for being considerate of me.
Well, I
really enjoy this podcast. I really. I'm not going to. But well, I'm glad you missed me, so on and so forth. But up there at Timberlake in Timberlake, South Dakota, I was actually shooting on the Goose Creek Tactical Range. I actually got to try 1,000 yards with my 223s, and to be quite honest, folks, I had been trying to get 1,000 yards. The bullets will carry that far, but it's just beyond the capability of the caliber. I would say max capability is exactly as they said, 600 meters. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. 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 It's a lot of work, a lot of precision to try and get out to 1,000 with a either if it's loaded at 5.56 or 223 specs. So it'll do it, but not not as accurately as you need to for regular shooting.
We didn't have a billboard to shoot at, you know what I mean? 30 by 40 feet billboard.
Yeah.
And we were just limited that way. The rifle can do it, I believe, at 600 yards, but we just didn't have the time. We were running out of daylight, and we had to start moving back down to Sioux Falls, Wyoming, or excuse me, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But anyway,
yeah.
It was just a great time. It really was.
Well, I thank everybody for tuning in. Hope you enjoy the show. Once again, if you're going to Amazon or Brownells, please make sure you go buy Reloading Podcast first. Use our affiliate links. It helps out the show. Helps pay for the bandwidth. And also just crap. No, that's not what I want to say.
Stand firm on the Second Amendment, folks. We're actually making a difference. We're actually
Yeah.
making a difference. Stand for the Second Amendment. I'm not trying to get political. Just keep
No,
on.
but keep on educating. Join the Second Amendment Foundation. Join the NRA. Join both, hopefully. But if you are one of those people that just absolutely says I can't stand the NRA, then you need to join the Second Amendment Foundation.
I've joined both.
Yeah, join the Second Amendment Foundation. There's a couple other ones out there. You know, join your local state groups. Find your local state groups. They're doing wonders in your state. They help with, you know, they help lobby. Even in California, they're doing some good stuff. Unfortunately, there's too many nutballs in charge, but this is the time to get out. You know, we've got big elections coming across, both local and state and national. We don't want to get political, but if we have too many more anti-gun toting or anti-gun people that get elected to the Senate, that means that there's a very good chance that they get an anti-gun justice on the Supreme Court. And all these court cases that we've had, you can kiss goodbye.
Yep.
So, there is you need to pay attention to what's going on. Yeah, get out and vote. Make sure you pay attention. I will say one thing: the NRA is pretty accurate on their political rating scale when they rate politicians. So if you want to know what somebody feels about guns and they're not answering you, go check with the NRA. They're very good at keeping track of that. That's the main thing they do during election season. So even if you don't want to give them money, swing by and check it out. But by all means, join the Second Amendment Foundation, join the NRA, join your local groups. Until we figure out a way to make lobbying illegal in this country, groups like the NRA are a necessary evil. They're the ones that help keep us free. And as much as certain other organizations want to claim that they're a civil rights organization, that's how the NRA started out. And if you want to make a difference, join and start making a difference. So we're off our political soapbox now. We thank everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you tuning in each week. Please go to the Facebook site, Reloading Podcast on Facebook. Give us some likes. Give us some iTunes reviews. Give us Stitcher reviews. If you're listening an audio podcast, let us know what you think. If there's something you wanna, if there's some topic that you want discussed, shoot us an email at reloading@firearmsradio.tv. Once again, that's
or if you're a member of the Reloading Room, tag Mike, myself, or Jason, and ask a question in there in the Reloading Room for material to be discussed here on the podcast.
Yep. And as you can see from tonight, the couple things we talked about were topics that were generated from the Reloading Room. So
absolutely,
if you've got questions, go there. Go there. Participate. You will not get newbie bashed. I repeat, you will not get newbie bashed in the Reloading Room.
Not on my one.
Jim and the admin team, Jason is one of the admins that are just excellent at watching out and keeping track of people. And there's no such thing as a stupid question. Ask your question, and you'll get it answered. You'll get it answered promptly, and properly. So, can't say enough about the Reloading Room. It's a great place to go for information on reloading. So, and on that note, folks, y'all have a good night.
Have a good week, folks.
Bye-bye now.